accepted there. Yeah. See, if we look, what's the 4 words? Good. If we look deeply into the Quran and the life and the wisdom of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we will see that these same words are the very building blocks of the Islamic philosophy. Allah says, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى. Has He said that? What that means? Cooperate, participate, help each other, isn't it? وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْمَرْحَمَةِ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالْحَقِّ وَتَوَاصَوْا بِالصَّبْرِ. Throughout the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to believe in Allah. يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. Because to believe, it means that you have bought into the idea. That's the belief. To believe in something means you have bought into the idea of it. You are committed to that. So Islam is about what? Commitment, belief. Islam is about participation. And Allah says, فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ. What does it mean? What's the meaning of that? As Sheikh Noor, he knows. فَاسْتَبِقُوا الْخَيْرَاتِ from the word sabaqa, to compete, to swim, to run, to race. To compete and race for what? For Jannah, for good deeds, for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to be the best. Allah doesn't want us to be regular. Allah doesn't want us just to pass. Allah wants us to be what? The best. كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلْتَكُنْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. People calling towards benevolence, khayr. People of khayr is not just people of goodness, they are people of benevolence. They use their means and their resources to change and shape and revolutionize and transitionize the whole world. That's what Allah calls us. But we are not those people anymore. We have the chance to become those people. But we have to have belief. And next, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created us to win. هو الذي أرسل رسوله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله دين كله ولو كره الكافرون والمشركون والمنافقون ليظهره. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He told us قد أفلح المؤمنون. The believers, they have to win. We will win. So Islam is about winning. It ain't just about placing. And all you guys and girls who are in these universities and you don't have it inside your mind to win, you're just a fool. When you graduate, you'll be an educated fool. No, the Muslim has to win. You got these people in here, girls sleeping with girls and monkeys and all kind of dogs and living like kind of, you don't know what these people are, kind of animals they're living. Yet they are maintaining a 4.0 and they're going to become doctors and lawyers and engineers and they're living backwards. So what about us? We making fajr, we reading the Quran, we following the Sunnah, we eating halal, and we coming in last. Like the brother said earlier, what did he say? Something is wrong. The elevator is not going all the way up. We are dysfunctional. We saying all the right words. We walk in the walk, but we talk in the talk, but we're not what? We're not walking the walk. And you can fake people for a long time saying something, but after a while, the people know the difference between Carolina rice and basmati when it hit the pot. Y'all Asians, y'all know what I'm talking about. See, because basmati, you cannot hide that if you're cooking it. It's got its own particular, distinct fragrance. Is that correct? And the Muslim, his character, his or her figure something out about Tommy. I don't know if Tommy Hilfiger trying to figure out Tommy. Is he a girl or a boy? Is it Tammy or Tommy? So, it's, just a joke. Sometimes, I'm talking to non-Muslims, I gotta make a joke, because I'm calling them faggots and homosexuals. I'm saying, did I say that? That must have been like a Freudian thing. I said, excuse me. People who have a different kind of like persuasion, they say like they're happy or gay or something. They laugh, they say, Sheikh, you shouldn't be talking like that. I said, what, you faggot? Or what's your problem? I said, look, I don't know about you guys, but me, I'm straight. I'm straight. So that means that whoever is not straight, they got to be crooked. They said, no, we get it. Okay, all right. So let's keep going. So if we read deeply into the American Constitution and the rhetoric which has made this country a magnet for the world, we will see that these same words, believe, participate, compete, and win. Let us for a moment visit the Quran and the wisdom of the Prophet ﷺ, and then let us review some specific segments of the American Constitution, especially the preamble, to substantiate my statements. We can see that these mega words propelled the Quranic generation from a regional success in the Arabian Peninsula to a magnificent and unparalleled civilizational presence which both led and dominated the world for at least 700 years. Didn't lead the world for 100 years. How many years? 700. And how much of the earth? The whole earth. There was a time when whatever part of the earth Muslims was not ruling, the Muslims still had dominance. When Muslims passed through that part, they just said, get back, the Muslims is coming. And nobody would ever touch the hair of a Muslim woman. If they insulted her, their country might be invaded. But now, you can insult all the Muslims. You can rape all their women. You can't do nothing about it. We ask the United Nations, hey, you see what they're doing to us? Hey, United Nations, that's the same guys. Asking them, hey, tell your family, your other guys, don't be doing that to us. They say, we're going to try. Just give us some more of that oil. So Muslims, we can see that these mega words propelled the Quranic generation from a regional success in the Arabian Peninsula to a magnificent and unparalleled civilizational presence which both led and dominated the world for these 700 years. And America is only 230-something years old. And it's only been leading the world for the last 70 years. So this is a baby nation and it's already in trouble. This is not subjective. This is not a philosophical statement of nostalgia. History and historians have documented this as a fact. Similarly, no one can refute the meager beginnings of the American social and political experiment. Let us keep in mind that the American civilizational presence is only 247 years old or young. It is extremely important that we keep our focus upon these four words: belief, participation, competition, and commitment. The commitment to win. Some Muslims can only see or understand or participate in the Islamic system as a set of rituals, as a set of traditions, as a set of religious doctrines. We can't get past the rituals. We can't get past the doctrines. We can't get past the traditions to discuss our predicament. Therefore, they cannot develop a practical platform of social and political participation within the context and the dynamics of the global reality. Did you understand what I just said? Within the context of what? The global reality. Because today, it's no longer regional reality. It is what? Because fiber optics and telecommunications have made the world what? A global village.
Make no mistake about it. The Quran did not come down to our Prophet ﷺ merely as a set of words and ideas to be considered. The Quran came down to inspire human beings to reform themselves.
See, that was the first thing. The Quran came to do what? To reform. Zakat. Tazkiyat al-nafs. When the human being reforms themselves, then they are ready basically to participate.
And consequently, to transform themselves and transform society and transform the world
towards a divine mandate of kuntum khayra. And وَلْتَكُنْ أُمَّةٌ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى الْخَيْرِ. This is the preamble of Islam.
Our Prophet ﷺ did not nurture this nation merely upon religious rituals and rhetorical doctrines. Rather, he insisted upon personal reform, the cultivation of the family, the development of brotherhood, the regulation of the society, and planting the seeds for a universal society to provide the welfare and guidance for the entire humanity.
Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said concerning the Prophet, he says, وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. You say he's a mercy for the nation. No, not just a mercy. Because the word Rahim, not just mercy, that he became the cradle for society. The very cradle, like the womb.
The Prophet ﷺ was not just merciful. No, through his sunnah, he brought benevolence. He brought culture. He brought development. He brought sophistication. He brought a new thinking, a new dynamism.
He took rocks and made them into men. The Quran and the Sunnah took rocks, people who were heathens, and he brought them into the best of human beings who built institutions that people from all over the world came to study.
Our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and if we reflect upon the words of the founding fathers of the United States of America, we can see a parallel and a relative ambition. So look, for a moment, I just want to read. First, those of you who never read the preamble of the Constitution, I want you to listen. We hold these truths to be self-evident. This was written by the founding fathers. Now, Thomas Jefferson was the main writer. But after he wrote it, John Hancock, Benjamin Franklin, John Adams, and the rest of them, they sat down and listened to it. George Washington, and some other guys that I could name to you. You know, they sat down and read it and said, yeah, that's it. That's it. They said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, and that they are endowed by their common creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
Now that set the spark off that created the United States of America and separated it from whom they considered to be the tyrannical representatives in Britain. Is that correct? The King of England.
Then the Constitution starts off this way. It says, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union and to establish justice, to ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and to our posterity, we do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America.
Now, this is the foundation statement for where we are living. And it is no mistake that people are coming here from all over the world because they believe this. It gives them a new shot, a new chance. The so-called Arab Spring, which is really a spring back, it ain't spring forward. It's a spring back because it was built out of nationalism. You ain't going to reach Islam using nationalism.
Just because you want to eat, you got a right to remove an oppressive tyrant from your neck. It ain't going to make you guided. Ain't going to bring you back to Islam. So, when you think about the Arab Spring, what was it all about? Just they was trying to get some freedom, trying to get some rights. They want to be able to write a book. They want to be able to print it and distribute it. They want to own a home. They want to own property. They want a job. They want to eat. They want to be able to say, the leader is wrong. He's stealing from us. They want to at least be able to say that. They couldn't even say that for 40 years. And that's why people come to America, because if I don't like Obama, if I say, George Bush, go to hell. I can say that. And they ain't going to come and lock me up. I don't say go to hell. I say, I'm sure glad George Bush went back to the bushes, him and his whole family. They should all stay in the bushes. So I can say that, and ain't nobody coming knocking on my door tomorrow. But you know, in some of the countries we come from, and you say something like that about the ruler of the country, then nobody gonna see you no more. And nobody better not ask about you, because they won't see them neither. So let's see what John Adams said. John Adams said, human nature itself is to examine and advocate for liberty. No, human nature itself is evermore an advocate for liberty. There is also in human nature a resentment of injury and disrespect and an indignation against wrongdoing, a love of truth and a veneration of virtue. That's what John Adams said. He wasn't no Muslim. See what Ben Franklin said. Every man who comes amongst us and owns a piece of land becomes a citizen, and by our Constitution has a voice in the elections and shares with us the government of the country and its resources. That's what Benjamin Franklin said. What Muslim countries say that? See what Thomas Jefferson said. It behooves you to therefore to think and act for yourself and your people. The great principles of right and wrong are legible to every reader. To pursue them does not require the aid of many counselors or intellectuals. The whole aim and endeavor of government consists of being honest. Therefore, as always, do your duty, and God will be with you. He wasn't no Muslim. See what Abraham Lincoln said. He said, I am exceedingly anxious that this union, the Constitution, and the liberties of the people shall be perpetuated in accordance with the original idea for which the struggle was made. And I shall be happy indeed if I shall be a humble instrument in the hands of the Almighty, and of this is chosen people for perpetuating this struggle. He wasn't a Muslim. These were the words that it was built upon. With the faults that they have. And we are enjoying the benefits of that. That makes us what? Beneficiaries. You do not have the right to be a beneficiary without passing something on or without contributing. So if you're not giving something up, you ain't contributing nothing, you need to go back. And if you don't think that America is a good place to be, go back and leave your passport. Just get on a bus or a plane or a boat and leave a passport. That means that you don't need a passport. If you ain't coming back, you don't need a passport. So I know everybody that's leaving is coming back because you're taking the passport with you. So don't be no munafiq. Now, let's continue reading. These were people that believed that a participatory democracy. What kind of democracy? What is it? Participatory. That means what? A democracy that only works through what? Participation. See? They thought it was possible, and they committed themselves and inspired others towards intense competition. And they cultivated a spirit of winning, and they were willing to pay any price for what? For victory. This is the spirit, and these are the words that brought forward the fruits that we are presently enjoying. Brothers and sisters, I want to say to you that I cannot speak for those of you that are foreign students. Similarly, I cannot speak for those of you who consider yourselves as refugees or asylums or transitional immigrants. I can't speak for you. You have to speak for yourself. But as a citizen of the United States of America and a Muslim, and I might say Muslim, who is also a citizen of the United States of America, I speak for me and I speak for other citizens. I speak for those of you who are American citizens, who are beneficiaries, just like me and my children, of what America has produced and the systems which it has developed. We are fortunate, we are endowed, and therefore we are responsible to place our Islamic belief within the context of the American society and its values. And we must participate, and we must find solutions to the best of our collective and individual capacity to guard not only our religious interests, but also to guard the social and moral interests of society itself, because that is what Islam teaches us. And that is what the Prophet ﷺ meant when he gave us the parable of a people who got on a boat together. You know that parable, right? He said the parable of a group of people who got on a boat. And some was in the top deck, and others in the bottom of the deck. And some of the people at the bottom of the deck, you know, they was like haters. They was like haters. Because they didn't get on the boat on time or whatever, they wasn't up in the sunshine, they wasn't at the top of the boat, and the water was at the top of the boat. You know, because that makes sense. They ain't had no motor, so they put the water in the top of the boat, because while the water can come down. But the people at the bottom, they ain't understand that. They said, look, we don't even want that water up there. What we're going to do, we're going to drill a hole in the bottom of the boat and get our own water. So the Prophet ﷺ said, if the people in the top of the boat, if they don't stop the people who drilling holes in the bottom of the boat, everybody in the boat is going to sink. Is that correct? Well, the boat is America. And there are the worst of people, Sharrul Bariyah, who's in the bottom of the boat, drugging and drinking, sleeping with dogs and animals. And now, in the state called Massachusetts, and in the state called California, this year they made it legal to have sex and to marry robots. It's not a joke. You better read. They're going to be building hotels that's got robotic pleasure rooms. And the country is saying, this is good. They say we don't have to have no prostitutes walking the streets and giving people diseases. Just let the man go rent a room, and the robot is inside the room. They can have all the pleasure they want. Let the lady go rent a robot. She have all the pleasure she wants. And if the robot talk too much, they'll lock it up. So the plug will lock it up. So people are now renting robots. And women who is frustrated, you know, they're not going to beat down and take advantage of men. They say, I'm buying me a robot. And the men, they say the woman is wrong with me. I done married 6 men like Larry King. He old as water. He old as water, and he ugly as Methuselah. But he marrying young ladies. And they said, okay, he said, they taking advantage of me. They just doing that for my money. So he said, forget it. I'm buying me a robot too. Because the people are frustrated. The people have become deviant. This is the people that we live in. They are in the bottom of the boat. And the homosexuals and the lesbians and the atheists and the communists and the filthy and the godless people is taking the country over. And we Muslims, we have been told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, kuntum khayra. Why? He's told us, ta'maruna bil ma'ruf wa tanhauna 'anil munkar wa tu'minuna billah. We're supposed to do what? We're supposed to enjoy what is right and forbid what is wrong. We don't even want to tell the people that's wrong. They say, hey, that's wrong. Muslim whisper, hey, that's wrong. Don't do that. Muslims scared to talk. The country said, don't call nobody no faggot. You can't do that. I'm calling him a faggot. I don't care. You know, if the lady can just walk out her house and walk over in front of my family with a bikini on, and like this is what's right, I can't say nothing about that. No. I say, hey, get back inside your house, put some clothes on. Say, man, you walking the dog, and the dog just urinating all on my plants and defecating all on my sidewalk, and I can't do nothing. I said, I can't shoot the dog. I can't shoot the man, the owner of the dog, but I can tell my children, watch out for the dog. So the homos and the lesbians did the dog. So, you can't shoot them, you can't blast them, but you can warn the people about it. And Muslims, we cannot be afraid, because if you don't do that, your children are going to school with them. And your children are going to be taught by them. And they are going to develop a good relationship with your children, and your children will learn to trust them, and your children will learn to tolerate them. And some of your girls are going to become lesbians. And some of your boys are already fags. You don't even know it. Yeah, you say, not my little Fatima. Yeah, your little Aisha. You putting her in the all-girl school for 4 years by herself? She's fresh meat. You got to be crazy. What you smoking? Talking about my little girl, she ain't getting married till she finished her doctorate degree. Are you crazy? Where you think you at? And she's sleeping in a room with a girl who loves girls just like boys love girls. This is the country we live in. It's not the whole country. It's not everybody. But they're taking over. And we Muslims have got to do what? We got to say no. We don't accept it and we don't agree with it. And we are American citizens also. And we are going to work with other people to create constitution and legislation to push them back. If you don't say nothing, guess what? If you are silent, you are in consent. Because if I ask for your daughter in marriage and you don't say nothing, guess what that means? It means yes. So if I ask you, you better say something. So Muslims, to guard the social and moral interests of the society, because this is what Islam teaches us. We are all on the boat called America. And as a result of fiber optics and telecommunications, America